Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to our podcast called Let's Talk About or Read About the Presidents. And tonight we're going to do Thomas Jefferson, three, the third president. Thomas Jefferson was born on April 13th, 1743, in Shadwell, Virginia. He died on Independence Day, 1826. So, comparing him to John Adams, about 9 years, 8 years apart, 8 years apart. And let's see, for George Washington, 1732. Okay, so about let's see, 73, 10, 11 years apart. Yeah, 11 years apart from George Washington. All right. He is the father of the Declaration of Independence. He's the sage of Montecito, and man of the people. His religion is listed as a deist. Now, what I want to do is I want to actually share the screen first. Oh, no, no sound. I want to share the screen, and I want to look up what a deist is. Let's do this first. Wikipedia.org/, deist or deism. Deism is derived from the Latin term deus, meaning God, small g. Deism is a philosophical position and rationalistic theology that generally rejects revelation as a source of divine knowledge and asserts that empirical reason and observation of the natural world are exclusively logical, reliable, and sufficient to determine the existence of a supreme being as the creator of the universe. More simply stated, deism is the belief in the existence of God, specifically in a creator who does not intervene in the universe after creating it. Deism emphasizes the concept of natural theology, that is, God's existence is revealed through nature. All right. List of deists include, of course, Thomas Jefferson, Anaxagoras, Al-Ma'ari, Leonardo da Vinci, Edward Herbert, Godfrey Leibniz, Matthew Tyndall, Voltaire, William Hogarth, Colin McLaren, Benjamin Franklin, Emile du Châtelet, Mikhail Lomonosov, Jean Leroy de Elbe, Adam Smith, James Hutton, Gotthold Ephraim Lessing, Moses Mendelssohn, George Washington. George Washington. He was labeled as a deist? No, George Washington. He's labeled as an Episcopalian in the book. George Washington, James Watt, Thomas Paine, Ethan Allen, Thomas Jefferson, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck, Johann Adam Weishaupt, James Madison, interesting, James Monroe, Frederick, Frederick Schuyler, Maximilian Robespierre, Elihu Palmer, Gary Frederick Gauss, Humphrey Davy, Charles Lyell, and a whole bunch of others. Okay, so Thomas Jefferson is what I don't like about Thomas Jefferson. Let me unshare. Oops, unshare the screen now. What I don't like about Thomas Jefferson is that he or someone he knows wrote down what's known as the Jefferson Bible. That's one thing I don't like about Thomas Jefferson. But reading along, his education was the College of William and Mary in 1762. His occupation was a lawyer and a farmer. His military service included being a colonel in the Virginia militia, though no active service for 9 years. His father was Colonel Peter Jefferson. His mother was Jane Randolph Jefferson. His wife was named Martha Wales Skelton Jefferson, wed on New Year's Day, 1772. Children of Martha Patsy Jefferson, Jane Randolph. Infant son died at birth. Maria, Lucy Elizabeth, and two Lucy Elizabeths. Political life: member, Virginia House of Burgesses, delegate to the Continental Congress, delegate to the Virginia House of Delegates, now House of Representatives, probably from Virginia. Governor of Virginia, Commissioner and Minister to France, Ambassador to France, Secretary of State, Vice Presidents. His 2 terms of presidents was between March 4th, 1801 through March 4th, 1809. His party was labeled Democratic Republican, and he completed his term, and his vice presidents was Aaron Burr and George Clinton. In the election of 1800, the electoral vote tied 73 with Aaron Burr, vice presidential candidate, 1 vote in the House of Reps. The deadlock led to passage of the 12th Amendment in 1804. No popular vote. In the election of 1804, electoral vote, Jefferson 162, Charles Pinckney 14. Well, a lot of people like Jefferson, I guess, but still no popular vote. Jefferson's cabinet included James Madison, Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury Samuel Dexter, and Albert Gallatin, Secretary of War Henry Dearborn. Hey, that sounds familiar. Dearborn, Michigan. Attorney General Levi Lincoln, Robert Smith, John Breckinridge, Caesar Rodney as Secretary of War, Secretary of Defense in today's time. Secretary of the Navy Benjamin Stoddert, and Robert Smith, and Postmaster Generals Joseph Habersham and Gideon Granger. Notes on the state of Virginia. Supreme Court appointments are William Johnson, Henry Brockholst Livingston, and Thomas Todd. Population of the United States during Jefferson's time was 5,308,483. States admitted to the Union were Ohio and only Ohio, March 1st, 1803. Did I know that Jefferson's on the nickel and the $2 bill? Yes, I didn't know that. New foods. Jefferson brought a taste of Europe to America when he returned after his 5 years in France. New foods to the American palate included vanilla ice cream, macaroni, figs, fried potatoes, anchovies, and broccoli. Broccoli's okay. Jefferson also became a connoisseur of wines. By the time he was president, over $7,000 was spent on that item alone. $7,000 a wine. Crazy. Did I know that Jefferson was the first president to be inaugurated in Washington, D.C.? Interesting. Mr. Jefferson and John Marshall, Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, were second cousins once removed. Marshall's great-grandfather and Jefferson's grandfather were brothers. Interesting. Oh, we got a little article on Napoleon Bonaparte. By the time of the and he was born 1769, Napoleon died in 1821. By the time of the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, Napoleon was 34 years old, a famed military commander, conqueror, and recently proclaimed consul for life in France. At this time, his country enjoyed a respite from war, but bills from previous conflicts in Europe and his defeat in Egypt accumulated. Following slave uprisings in Santo Domingo, which prompted his troops to withdraw, Napoleon gave up his dream of creating an empire in North America, making the purchase of the Louisiana Territory negotiable. Did we know that Jefferson was the first president to shake hands instead of bowing to others as a form of greeting? That I agree with Jefferson. I like that about Jefferson. Did I know that Jefferson wrote about 20,000 letters in his lifetime? All right. That's Thomas Jefferson, folks.